Hey friends, I'm so happy to be here with you again today. If we haven't met yet, my name is Angie King, and I serve here at Substance alongside my husband Chad, who's one of our campus pastors, and I help oversee our worship ministry. We have two school-aged kids, Louie, who's 10 and full of emotion and energy, and Georgie, who is 7, but basically going on 17 with the preteen attitude. Wow. Mom, if you're out there watching this, I just want to say, I'm so sorry for what I put you through 30 years ago. Truly, it is wild. Anyway, I am so honored to share with you today. God has placed a clear message on my heart that I am thrilled to share with you about helping our kids be anchored in God by seeking His presence and resting in His strength. Recently, my son Louie has been walking through something that feels really big in his heart. For whatever reason, 4th grade has been the year of a big shift in friendships. For so many years, all of the parents, all the teachers, everybody have encouraged all the kids to be friends with everybody. Everyone is friends. We all get along. And honestly, they basically have until now. It seemed really sudden for Louie to see new groups being formed, invitations changing, interests looking different, connections weakening. It's just felt really hard and really confusing to him. And I know that for me, and as most of us moms, what rises up in us when our kids feel left out is that we want to fix it. We want to maybe call another mom and set up a play date. We want to strategize ways to figure it all out. I want to protect him. I want to rescue him from it. And so I've just been kind of processing this and asking myself, is this actually a problem to solve, or is this part of formation that's happening in him? Because ultimately, I don't think it's an interruption. I think it's an invitation into some refining and some growth for my sweet boy. Recently, I was reading in Chronicles, and this verse stuck out to me in relation to Louie's current situation. Stick with me here, I promise it'll make sense. In chapter 16, verse 11, it says, "Search for the Lord and for His strength. Continually seek Him." This verse sits in the middle of a worship song that was written when the Ark of the Covenant was brought back to Jerusalem. And when it returned, the people celebrated God's presence, thanked Him, and sang His praises. The song doesn't say to look to the Lord when life is good or seek His face when everything makes sense. It says continually seek Him, always. And probably just because Louie's situation was weighing on my heart at that time, I couldn't help but think about this current social storm, so to speak, and wonder if it's actually the beginning of Lou learning to rest in where his strength comes from, where his identity lies, and who he runs to when he feels unsteady. Now, like I mentioned before, I could jump in and rescue my little buddy from all of this, right? I could move some things around to fix it. I even at one point mentioned to my husband, like, maybe this school is not a good fit. It was, because we jump to those things, right? I could move some stuff and fix it and do all of this. But if I do those things too quickly, I might accidentally be inadvertently teaching him that stability comes from social success, strength comes from his mom jumping in and fixing it, and security comes from belonging to a certain group. But that's not true, is it? The Word says that our strength comes from God. And this is the hard part. Sometimes love looks like us sitting beside our hurting and confused child and being in the pain with them instead of solving it for them. It truly can be almost unbearable at times, especially when our current culture tells us that we should dive in, fix everything immediately so that our kids never feel any discomfort. But that's not at all what God teaches us or models to us. I think about the story of Joseph in Genesis. He's betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and then forgotten about in prison. God could have easily rescued him at any moment. But instead, the Word reminds us repeatedly that the Lord was with Joseph. He didn't remove Joseph from the mess. He anchored Joseph while he was in the mess. Let's think about it. If Joseph had been rescued from the pit immediately, he likely would have missed out on significant character formation, growth in leadership, deep understanding of dependence on God. He would have had no reconciliation with his brothers. He wouldn't have saved Egypt. I mean, hello, right? But really, the anchor was formed in the storm. And sometimes God lets us, His children, sit in the mess. Not because He's distant, not because He's going to disappear from us, but because he's deepening us. He's building our character. And sometimes, most of the time, we have to trust him enough to do the same thing with our kids. So what does it look like practically? I want to clarify that this does not mean to ignore bullying or allow emotional harm or withdraw our support. What it does mean is to resist the urge to overmanage our kids' discomfort. Here are 3 simple ways we can help our kids through a social storm. The first thing is to validate their feelings. The pain is real for them and it shouldn't be just dismissed. If we just say, hey, I bet that feels really icky right now, that just validates the feelings that they're having right now. The second thing, redirect them to God. Speak truths about identity and who they are in Him. Tell them things that combat the exact lies that they might be hearing from the enemy. And the third, teach them how to pray in the moment. Just short, honest prayers about how they feel and how to ask God for strength. Because again, we are teaching them not how to avoid a storm, but how to drop their anchor into the water when the waves begin to rise all around them. And honestly, here's another layer of it that surprised me. I realized that sometimes when I rush to rescue my kids from discomfort, it's because there's actually something that's been awakened in me. Their feelings of rejection remind me of old rejection in my life. Exclusion of my kids pokes at my own old friend wounds. So in all of this, I'm actually not just parenting Louie, but God's parenting me at the same time. 1 Chronicles 16:11 isn't just for my kids. I need to look to the Lord and to His strength and to seek His face always. Because if I'm anchored, I won't panic in the midst of my kids' storms. Because anchored moms raise anchored kids. So when we resist rescuing every discomfort, we're not abandoning our kids. We're empowering them. We're showing them that we believe God is forming something in them, that His presence is stronger than their pain, and that our anchor in Him can and will hold. I hope this encourages you today, and I'm praying for all of you as you navigate this beautiful and sometimes messy journey of motherhood. Have a great week.